Hi there, I am Kim Christensen. I am your child's social studies and science teacher, possibly homeroom as well. I'm here today to kind of go over the way that I'll approach social studies and science instruction and grading. As always, feel free to contact me if you have any questions about any of the work or any of the grades or any of the ways that we're doing things in social studies and science. So let's take a look at the Schoology course. Our social studies science Schoology course is called Cultivate Curiosity, Ignite Curiosity and Inspire Achievement. And in a minute, I'll go over the 4 concepts that we'll cover this year. But before I do that, I'd like to read a short paragraph from a grant that I wrote last year to our Foundation for Eden Prairie Schools. It kind of lays a foundation of what I believe in as far as how we approach learning, and also kind of recognizes the FEPS Foundation for donating some money for us for different materials to cultivate curiosity. Bear with me as I read this. We learn from grades, from mistakes. We learn for extrinsic and intrinsic rewards. We learn out of hunger and often from our own desire to know something. Interestingly, nearly all of our advancements come from the hands of curiosity, which occurs when we interact and understand the world around us. A thirsty curiosity leads us to high motivation. How do we foster inquiring minds in 6th grade STEM class? Well, we're naturally curious species, and we need to keep this curiosity fueled during the middle school ages to ensure our students are making the connections to complex science and social studies concepts. Then it goes on and on to request the materials. I truly believe that if we can pique curiosity, kids will want to learn. They're not necessarily used to this self-directedness or this responsibility in their own learning, but I do believe that I can help them get there this year. So let's take a look at see how I'm going to do that. So some of you have already logged into the Schoology course as a parent or perhaps taken a look at it with your child. There's a few things that we are just kind of touching base on this week to kind of get used to working together as a group. Collaboration, of course, is a big focus for us here, and so you'll see some of the activities here in week 1 rotations. We've done a couple challenges around lifesavers. One was life preserver, and the other one is building a lifesaver go-kart. They actually start that today, Wednesday. I'm going to go back though, and I'm going to draw your attention to the Digest This First folder. This is where you'll find a really thorough explanation of standards-based grading, which is what I will use this year to grade your child. The premise of standards-based grading is that we are grading what they know, the academic knowledge that they know. We'll still report any work habits, any observations that I see as far as how they're working both as an individual and in groups. But if we click right here, standards-based learning and grading, there's a fairly long explanation of what it is and why I'm using standards-based grading. For about the last year and a half, I've been sitting on a committee with Eastern Carver County Schools trying to really get our heads wrapped around standards-based grading. And I know that at our own CMS, the middle school, many of the teams are starting to approach their grading system with standards-based grading. So I encourage you to take a look through this. Toward the bottom is an explanation of how the grading will transfer over into campus. So everything is graded on a 4-point scale, and almost everything that's assigned comes with a rubric, and I'll show you those in just a minute. But basically, 4 is exceeds, 3 is mastery, 2 is meets. We expect every student to meet every standard. Because this is not a district-wide push just yet, the consequence for not meeting it basically just will affect their overall grade, whereas in a true standards-based grading environment, the student would be expected to continue to work on that standard until he or she meets it, which usually means like summer school or staying in after hours. You can see how it equates to the letter grade here, because this is the first year that our students in elementary school are getting the letter grade. But each of these numbers, 4, 3, 2, 1, will eventually come together in a summative grade and equal 90%, which is above as a 4, which is an A, 80 to 85% is a B, 70, 79% is a C, and anything below that is that they need to redo. So the biggest thing with standards-based grading is to just remember that the focus is on the learning and not the grading. This will be explained over and over and over again to your child so that they truly start understanding that it's not just about completing the work, but really understanding that they've learned something. The next thing that I want to draw your attention to is the Deep Dives folder. This is the folder that we'll work out of most often, and this is where our 4 concepts live. Now the concepts for this year are rights, rules, and responsibilities. That covers both science and social studies standards. Interactions and independence. Movements, shifts, and shakes. And systems and designs. Now the folders aren't complete yet. The folder that we're working out of, or the concept that we're working on right now, is rights, rules, and responsibilities. And for the most part, it's complete. But the way that you digest this is that the very first link here tells you all of the standards that we'll cover during this concept: social studies, science, and technology standards. And then most often it's pretty clear about which is the social studies and then which is the science and technology standards. In each folder, you'll see which standards are going to be met, but then when you dig into each folder, you'll see that we have required activities and then personalized activities. So we'll do some priming activities or whole group teacher instructed activities in these required activities. And then the students will determine how they want to show me what they know through personalized learning, through voice and choice, and I'll offer them resources and activities that they can do to meet that challenge. But the point is, and you'll see as you sift through this, is that they might not all be working on the same thing in the same way. Okay, so we are pulling personalized learning and standards-based learning together. I'll give you some time to sift through this, but please feel free to call me with any questions or suggestions, or if you have a special talent and you want to come in and work with a group of kids, that'd be fabulous. My email address is kchristensen@edenpr.org. Thank you.